Thank you for joining me here at the First Alert Desk on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Maria Moreau. I want to get you straight out to the latest news we've been following here in Metro Atlanta. Starting with this, the shelter-in-place order out in Rockdale County has expired. This comes after a chemical plume continued to hang over the BioLab facility in Conyers. Much of that remains ongoing, but officials have said they've looked at the air quality and said that they expected to lift the shelter-in-place order earlier this morning, and that now we're in the 11 a.m. hour as that shelter-in-place order does make its way out. Georgia leaders, meanwhile, are calling for stricter regulations. Atlanta News First reporter Brittany Ford is at the state capitol with more on this.
Yeah, state lawmakers are calling for the immediate and permanent closure of BioLab. And you can take a look at your screen here. These were government officials and advocates who met here at the Capitol yesterday, drawing attention to repeated violations by the chemical plant and the lack of transparency on where things stand. Now, some have called on Governor Kim to declare a state of emergency for those affected. During a news conference Thursday, Kim said any sort of discipline would have to come from the EPA or state's Environmental Protection Division.
I mean, they have the leverage to do that. If there are violations, that's what they do every day. They don't need direction from me on that.
The shelter-in-place order in Rockdale County expired at 7 a.m. this morning. The school district also said that they will be heading back to class next week, but will be virtual until Wednesday. At the Georgia State Capitol, Brittany Ford, Atlanta News First.
Yeah, so again, a lot coming out of that as we continue to follow it. I did want to take you out here to East Point, where there is a new program aimed at addressing food insecurity for seniors and families with children. This is really focused on low-income residents of Atlanta. The program aims to provide free food and support. Atlanta News First, Yasmina Alston is at the Atlanta Community Food Bank in East Point, where leaders and seniors are coming together.
Seniors count on it.
These canned fruits, vegetables, and other staple food items are essential for Atlanta seniors. With food insecurity increasing over the last 2 years, mainly due to inflation, the Atlanta Community Food Bank is now serving 66% more people today, especially low-income seniors.
Food, like most things, the cost has gone up. And even having shelf-stable things that they can have in the pantry. And as we know, we've just seen from the hurricane that, even in the best of times, for the best of us, sometimes you may not be able to get to the store. Sometimes your electricity may go out.
That's why this group of senior citizens gathered inside the food bank's kitchen. They all receive free monthly healthy food boxes as part of the Commodity Supplemental Food Program. On Thursday, they learned to make some meals with the items in their box with the help of Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens.
It's a tremendous help as costs of groceries have risen and challenges with access to food across the metro and key places has led to folks even more dependent upon the Atlanta community food banks.
Jackie El Toro is one of the seniors who benefits from the program and this cooking class. She looks forward to getting her box the second Tuesday of every month and says she even has the option to get it delivered if she's not able to get it herself.
Just the cost of healthier foods. Food is expensive and is constantly going up. And with this program, with the box, it staples and it goes automatically into the pantry.
And that food box program is something that many people depend on each month. And that's why city officials say it's important to support organizations like the food bank in East Point. Yasmina Alston, Atlanta News First.
Governor Brian Kemp and former President Donald Trump will be together today in Evans, Georgia. They'll be giving remarks on Hurricane Helen. Recovery efforts are ongoing here in the state. Now, that joint event starts at 3:45 this afternoon at Columbia Performing Arts Center. If you were with us here yesterday, President Biden toured Valdosta yesterday to see some of the damage that Helen had left behind. It's important to note how deadly this storm was. At least 33 people have died here in Georgia because of Helene. 1,000 miles of power are still down and 8,000 power poles still need to be replaced. That is going to take months of work, and emergency crews now responding to some of these communities in need. To put it into perspective, as of this morning when we last checked, there were still 200,000 folks here in Georgia without power. Now, FEMA is providing $750 for people in those counties in need of immediate resources like food, baby formula, and water. They've announced they'll pay in full for recovery efforts over the next 3 months. I want to take this time to let you all know that Atlanta News First has partnered with the Salvation Army to help bring relief to families most impacted by Helene. Donating is super easy. You can take out your phone and go to the website helenehelp.org. There you can go to the direct link. We have a donation button for you. 100% of what you give will go to the Salvation Army's relief efforts to help those that are just still reeling from Helene. It has been now a week, and for many, they are still going day by day with recovery efforts as communities are just torn apart by this. So our hearts go out to them. Please, if you can donate, do so. I do want to take this time now to bring in the morning anchor, Gravir Denza. You see her every morning with you following stories like these, but today she's joining me to talk about the wonderful events that we have going on here in Atlanta.
Yeah. You know what? Can I just talk about Helene for just a second? You know what? I was listening to you talk about the community effort and the donations. I just have to tell you, have you ever been to Asheville, North Carolina?
I have not. It's a bucket list.
You know what? North Carolina is just one of the most beautiful states on the planet, and the area around Asheville specifically is just lovely, and it breaks your heart to see, what's happening there. But what's been heartwarming is to see that outpouring of support. Like, FEMA's there, obviously, so the government is helping in its own way. But what's been really great is, like, I have neighbors who say, hey, they've got a truck going, and, just people kind of rallying around all of the people, not only in Georgia, but also all those people up in the North Carolina hills, So one day, Maria, when you go, Asheville will be rebuilt, and it may take a while, but you must go.
And
okay.
I mean, to that point, not just Georgia, there's so many different places across the Southeast that are reeling from this devastation. So if you can help any of them out as well.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about something
let's
else,
talk about this weekend.
We got a lot going on this weekend. I was telling Rodney Harris earlier today, I said, October is one of my favorite months of the year, if not my favorite, because the weather starts to change, and it's like the fall is really in the air, and it always ends up being incredibly busy with something going on every single weekend. We've got a lot of walks going on this weekend. We've got the Mayor's 5K. My pal Brooks Baptiste is going to be emceeing that. But also this weekend, there's a real emphasis on mental health, and there's a walk taking place at Atlantic Station. Rodney Harris found out more about the Evy Walk For Life and how you can participate and really shed light on something some people don't want to talk about. Take a listen.
You were invited to the Evy Walk For Life 5K in Atlantic Station this Saturday, which is an opportunity to not only get a workout in, but also support mental health and wellness. I caught up with Atlanta City Councilman Byron Amos about the importance of representing such an important cause in his district.
It feels real good to talk about something that we in our culture really don't talk about. Suicide, mental health, things of that nature. So it's very important to me to represent this area, but also to have wonderful partners like Evy to do this Walk For Life October the 5th, asking everybody to come and join us, because it's not only a walk, there's a resource fair as well. So if you're looking for help, if you need help, or if you know anyone else that needs help, October the 5th is the day for you to be here with us.
The Walk For Life is hosted by the Evy Foundation, which was created by Dr. Chris and Idria Edwards specifically to support mental health and wellness. There is nothing more important for Dr. Edwards than creating a safe space for us to all come together.
If they want to know what to expect, is energy, and I mean lots of energy. What we hope is that it will be a safe place for the community to come together, for people to share in common stories, families, churches, whomever, because we all have that one thing that we all have gone through. And it affects our mental health.
The Walk for Life, hosted by Ryan Cameron, will also include arts, music, healthy food demonstrations, a kids zone, and even a barbershop.
It's over 46 vendors. Wow. And all of it's free for the community. So I hope people will come out and let's start this conversation. No more hiding in plain sight. No more darkness. It affects everybody in every community, so we all have to come together to address mental health care.
And you know, it's not just Evy. There are so many events happening this weekend. The Mayor's 5K on the 5th runway is all sold out if you still wanted to make it out, but there is still a way you can participate, and that is through donations. The organization is nearly halfway to their donation goal. The money benefits the Mayor's Youth Scholarship Program, and that helps students with college expenses. We have a link with more details for you on atlantanewsfirst.com. You could also join us here on Atlanta News First Plus bright and early tomorrow to tune in to the Mayor's 5K on the runway. We will stream that for you live. And it is not just that. We have even more events happening tomorrow. I want to talk to you about the NAMI Walk. That is happening there you go. That is happening at Assembly Atlanta in Doraville, out in DeKalb County. This is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization dedicated to helping those affected by mental illness. There is still time to sign up for this one. NAMI Walk kicks off on Saturday at 9 a.m. Again, that is at Assembly Park in Doraville. We have all the details for you in the Atlanta News First app. So if you have an opportunity this weekend, get out there, donate what you can, and make it a great day. We have a lot still ahead for you on Atlanta News First Plus. Taking a look out now at Midtown Atlanta as we close out the work week. Weather Where You Are is up next.